Expanding and factorising brackets. In this video we're going to look at everything you need to know about expanding and factorising brackets from the grade E work up to the grade C work. Now when you're expanding brackets, what you're doing is you're multiplying out the bracket, and what that means is we're going to multiply everything inside the bracket by this 3 outside the bracket. So we're going to do 3 times x, which is 3x, and we're going to do 3 times 5, which is 15. Now it's plus in the middle, so it's a plus 15, and we can't collect together anymore because we haven't got the same like terms. Let's have a look at another example like this. So we're going to multiply the inside of the bracket by this 6 outside the bracket. So we're going to do 6 times 2x, which is 12x, and we're going to do 6 times 3, which is 18. So what you're doing is you're multiplying everything inside the bracket by the value outside the bracket. Well, in this question now, where we've got x in brackets x minus 5, we actually have an x outside the bracket rather than a number. But it's still the same steps. We're still going to multiply both terms inside the bracket by the x outside the bracket. So we're going to do x times x. Now think about, what is another way of saying 5 times 5? 5 squared. So another way of writing x times x would be x squared. And then the second part we're going to do minus 5 times x, which is minus 5x. And the final style question is 3a, and we're going to multiply that by 2b minus 5. Well, it's exactly the same step. So what is 3a times 2b? Well, 3 times 2 is 6, and then we're just going to put a times b. And the second part, 3a times minus 5, well, 3 times minus 5 is minus 15, and then we've got the a. And we can't simplify that anymore because the first part has got AB's and the second part has got an A. So just be careful to get the correct sign. Now the only time you might have to worry about it not being the sign that's in the bracket is if you had a minus at the front, because a minus times a minus would give you a positive. Now that was all grade E work. Now let's have a look at a grade D style question where we've got 6 in brackets 3a plus 4 plus 2 in brackets 4a minus 8. Now this question in the exam would say expand and simplify. So what we need to do is we need to expand both brackets first, and then we need to collect together any like terms. Now the easiest way to do this is to write our 2 brackets out on top of each other. So 6 3a plus 4, and then plus 2 4a minus 8. Now I always carry through this symbol here, so in the positive 2, because if it was a negative, if it had been negative 2, then it would make a difference when we're expanding, because negative 2 times negative 8 would give you plus 16. So we need to make sure that we carry through whatever that symbol is. Now we do exactly the same as what we were just doing. So 6 times 3a is going to be 18a, and then 6 times 4 is plus 24. And now if we do the same with the second bracket, so 2 times 4a, which is 8a, and then we've got 2 times minus 8, which is minus 16. Now that's the expanding part done, and as I said in an exam, this question would say expand and simplify. So what we need to do now is we need to collect together any like terms, so any parts that are the same. So in this question we've got a's which we can collect together, and we've got numbers we can collect together. So what is 18a plus 8a? Well, that is 26a, and then we've got 24 minus 16. Well, 24 take away 16 is 8, so it's plus 8. That's the grade D work. Now if we just look finally at the grade C work, which is to expand double brackets, what that means is we want to multiply everything in the left hand bracket by everything in the right hand bracket. So we need to multiply the x by both terms in the right hand bracket, and then we need to multiply 3 by both things in the right hand bracket. And we do this using the Krabby Claw method. So x times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x. Now we can multiply x by both things. We're going to do 3 times x, which is 3x, and we're going to do finally 3 times 4, which is 12. Now that isn't quite the final answer, because you will notice that you've got x, 4x and a 3x, so we can collect them together to make 7x. Now we can't collect the x squared into that because that is a square, so it has to be the same power as well as the same letter to collect them together. And the final example we're going to look at on expanding is this one. So do exactly the same step. So x times x, which is x squared, x times minus 3, which is minus 3x, 5 times x, which is plus 5x, and 5 times minus 3 is minus 15. Remember to collect together then minus 3x and the plus 5x, which is going to be 2x. Now, let's have a look at factorising now, which is the opposite to expanding brackets. And what factorising is it's putting it back into a bracket. So what we are looking for is we're looking for a common value or letter that goes into both parts of the expression given. So if we look at this first one we've got here, we've got 5a plus 15. Well, you should know that both 5 and 15 go into the 5 times table. So the common value we can take out is a 5. And that means in the brackets we've got to think, what do we multiply 5 by to get to 5a? Well, that's just 1a, or an a. And what do we multiply 5 by to get to 15? Well, that's 3. So it's plus 3. Second one, so we're trying to think of a common value that goes into both 12 and 16. So if you think about it, 2 goes in, because 2 times 6 is 12 and 2 times 8 is 16. But is that the highest common factor? Well, it's not. The highest factor that goes into both 12 and 6 is 4, so we can take a 4 out. So 4 times something gives you 12a. Well, 4 times 3 gives you 12, and then you've still got the a. And likewise for the 16, what do we times 4 by to get to 16? Which is a plus 4. Let's just look at 2 more examples. So you've got x squared minus 3x. So is there any common value between x squared and minus 3x? Well, remember, in front of this x squared there is a 1, but there's no point in taking a 1 out. Is there any letters that are common? Yeah, x is common to both bits. So we can take out an x. So what do we times x by to get to x squared? Well, that is x. And what do we times x by to get to 3x? Well, minus 3. And the final example, 9ab minus 15a. So, is there a common value that goes into both 9 and 15? Well, yeah, 3 does, so we can take a 3 out. But is there anything else we can take out? Oh yeah, if we look carefully, there's an a that appears in both terms here. We've got AB and we've got an a. So we can also take an a out. So, what do we times 3a by to get to 9ab? Well, 3 to get to 9 you times by 3, and 3a to get to 9ab. Well, we've already got the a, so we're not going to put that in the bracket, but we have got this b we need to put in. So, and the final step, minus 15 times a. And we need to think what we times 3 by to get to 15, which is, remember it's minus 15, so it's minus 5. And we don't need to put the a in because it's already there, outside the bracket. And that is expanding and factorising brackets.